I'm Dakota, and I was originally diagnosed with Asperger syndrome, but they changed the name to Autism Spectrum Disorder.
So at what age were you diagnosed, and how did you react to your diagnosis?
Well, I was first diagnosed in middle school around 7th grade, and I first rejected the diagnosis, and it wasn't until 9th grade that I accepted it.
So do you think that having autism makes your life in any way harder than that of a typical person?
People on the autism, well, I know that there are some pros and cons to being normal. Like there are pros and cons to being autistic, like people on the autism spectrum can usually think better than most people.
Are there things that you know that you do differently than other people, like the way you think or the way you interpret things?
Autistic people can be more literal, and they can also be more logical. Like, they might have trouble understanding sarcasm, for one thing. I mean, you might misunderstand something and then might offend somebody. And then that's going to be hard because an autistic person's probably not going to know whether or not they offended them. People with Asperger's or autism, I should say, might have an area of special interest, and they might focus on just that. Like maybe the periodic table of the elements. An autistic person might collect things pertaining to their special interests. Well, this is my magnesium that I have. This is my copper that I've got. This is my brass, which is a copper alloy. And here's the oxygen that I have for oxygen torches.
Do you know that you do any physical things differently than typical people?
Like I might listen to music repeatedly. I might rock back and forth when I talk.
What were your experiences in school, like with your classes and with other students?
Well, I found English in high school a bit easy, I guess, because I had an IQ score of 122 for writing reviews and all that. Well, I didn't get bullied, especially with the making fun of the name Asperger syndrome. But they can't do that anymore.
Do you think autism is something that should be actively prevented and or cured?
I don't think there should be a cure for autism. Or at least if there is a cure, we'll let the autistic person decide whether or not they want to be cured. But don't force it on them. Most autistics would say no anyway. And I just think that without autism, the world probably wouldn't have as many inventions as it has now.
Go!